Hello everyone, today we are looking at another Squabblers Review Me video where I review my viewers. If you want to submit, you can click on this video. This one is 2,000 subscriber challenge. Just click on that, follow the details in the video. Pretty straightforward. But with that said, let's get straight into the next video here. So we have this one right here and we're going to take a look-see at it. Okay. Looks like it's standard. We're doing looks like a solo run. Let me see if there's any details here. So AI teammates B1301 shotgun. AI teammates use RTWC 65 and B1301 shotguns. Light armor, 6 flash, 1 AP sidearm, 6 buckshot primary. Standard. I did not beat this mission because I'm not good at video editing. The bloopers from the other run are at the end. That's going to be funny. Okay. Look forward to seeing that. All right. Making sure everything's good, everyone can hear me, and I can hear the audio. Ooh, that is loud. I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. Holy. All right, let's see what we got here. Nice picking up all that stuff. Now he's deciding to skip the cameras, which a lot of the time I do too, just because most of the time it's not super helpful. But on standard, it's like you can kind of get away with it. On hard, most of the time you're just pulling the lever anyway. But yeah, these first floors, not of consequence. You can move exactly like he's moving. I would check those back rooms though, because there can be enemies that spawn in here. Going up the stairs, something that's probably super important for this circumstance. Now, even though generally speaking, the mission starts when those double doors are kind of open, in my opinion, right? Because a lot of this stuff beforehand isn't really too big of an issue. But entering up these stairs, you should be still checking. Usually there's like enemies here. You should be checking this angle and make sure you are looking to see if the door is open or closed. It's kind of hard to tell. It does look like it's open. So if it's open, you're going to be approaching wide from the left very carefully because you don't know if that other adjacent room is open. If you cross this line, this is going to be a big issue for sight lines. The door is closed, which is awesome. He closes the door. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Once again, mirroring doors. If you are going to mirror a door, you don't need to be standing directly in front of it. Right now, this is the start of the mission. Likelihood of him getting attacked or pushed or whatever, insanely low, near impossible, almost to some degree. But, you know, just be off to the hinges to minimize any risk.
Talk, come in. This is D platoon.
Oh, looks like so our squad got some. Okay, yeah, so you definitely want to focus on the right side first. You didn't see anybody to the left. You didn't see anybody to the right. The right has open doors, so there's more exposure to other areas you can check, but you can make sure you don't pass the door. So when the door opens, you open the door, you sit here, you can see nothing here. Now you're going to work the door to the right. Make sure there's nothing new enemy patrolled in here, because there is one that will patrol around here sometimes. Closing both doors. You can close it just by doing the center. Awesome, jamming the door. Doing a mirror, checking under around. I would just check to the right a little bit more for thoroughness. And I want to clarify, there are things where you can do something related to the level and specific spawning, and then there's ways you can do it tactically where you're going to be doing it the same every single time, just for, you know, consistency's sake of like strategy and general, like this is what you're going to do no matter what, without any knowledge, right? So just making sure to check your corners a little bit better. You know, not a big deal right now, but I played this mission so many times, I kind of know this mission pretty well now. So okay, we got an unsuspecting. Okay, I do think he was a little bit to the right a little bit. Okay, so flurry, have your guys close the door. I know you're kind of like, yeah, that's oh, this is interesting. All right. Oh, so this is oh my god, it's a perfect example. Yeah, whenever you mirror a door, if you were on this other side, you would be so screwed. Now, if you have a team covering you, it's kind of fine. But generally speaking, if you're playing solo with AI or somebody who's just not covering you, mirror on the door hinge side for this specific reason. Because if they come through the door, you go boop, and if you're on that side, there's a good chance you would have died potentially.
Disable that weapon.
Acknowledged.
On me.
You got point.
Okay, so there's like a lot of flagging issues. Like this is a very complex situation in this area. This is a very difficult area to kind of understand, like geometrically. So when you cross out here, you do want to stick to the corner wall until you check the bathroom and the left side here around this corner. So you will be going up to this point. They'll turn around and check that door because I think the bathroom door is open, if I'm not mistaken. Because there can be a guy in there. I have seen one in there relatively recently. I knew there was in before. I've seen it like probably around twice. Make sure you're checking that out. Make sure you're aiming at locations where you think suspects are going to be. You don't want to be like not aiming at them already. If that makes sense. Because especially if you're using a controller, which in this case he is, you do need to be aiming at the target already to help you increase your actual, time to neutralize them. So you did just activate a motion sensor. They were obviously pretty close to the door, so they're going to kick it open and they should flash. I'm not sure how I feel about shooting doors sometimes. It's kind of a normal reaction. A lot of people do it. I'm not quite sure I like it a lot of the time. You can, depending on, like, because he hasn't explored this room very much, so he could, like, kind of peek out and kind of hold the angle. And there's risks that come with that, but you can still kind of do it. And depending on, like, their alert level, they'll be more or less, accurate or crazy cracked out aimbot. But I don't think that is going to hit anybody. Like the door will open, and if they're usually either standing straight in front of the door or off to the side and cover. Most of the time when they open it, they're not going to be like on this angle.
Block the door.
Oh, he paused it. Just skip ahead of this. Oh, okay. So yeah, this door was open. If you see a trap like this, I don't think they can come through these doors with these traps. I'm actually not quite sure. I believe they can't. I believe they don't come through doors unless they like activate themselves on the other side of it, then they can open it or whatever. But
Head to the exit. Officers are waiting out.
a lot of the time you're mostly kind of safe when you have those tripwires. Also, he did wedge this. I didn't really see when, but when you have this right here, you should also wedge this, because this is also an enemy can walk out through that door. You want to kind of watch your back on those angles. And this is where you can take time to line it up. You don't need to be super quick or anything. That was just a flurry of rounds through that sets of doors, man. That was so funny. Oh, that was just so unexpected. He got him though. That was good. He got him. Definitely a spray and pray. I never sprayed and prayed with the shotgun. That's hilarious. And it does, when you break a door, if you guys don't know, it does deactivate that wedge. As you can see, there's a wedge there, unless it's a glitch or something, but that was so good. Make sure you're not looking at the ground whenever you enter a room. There still can be enemies in the corner hiding or off to the side. Just being a little bit more diligent about like where enemies could be and where like threats are is the biggest thing here. Kicking doors, if you're gonna kick a door, kick it off to the side and cover, because if you do kick this and there's somebody straight in front of the door, like further down there, you're just gonna get shot and die immediately. So just try to avoid that. I did hear a door open. I think it was the ones behind them. Once again, still be on the door hinge. Don't stand directly in front of the door. I assume he checked. I know he did mirror, but I'm not sure if he like noticed if there was a trap or not. But check for traps. I didn't really see the corner checking on the traps, but make sure you try to do that. As a general, if anything, this is still just a good way to be consistent. Oh, let's see this.
Let me see those hands.
Oh, okay. I was still confused why he was looking over that direction when he threw the flash. I'm not sure if he didn't know if there was a guy there or not, but because that's why I assume that's why he threw the flash. He heard somebody or saw somebody. He doesn't seem to be using his AI, and I get it because they're kind of just derps a lot of the time. They're just so derpy. With that said, if you are able to like make them move to cover and look at a door, like just focus fire, cover on the door there, have them just be looking at the door. And once again, you can with the door closed. But yeah, just make sure that they're trying to help. Just try to like, hey guys, look at this door. Cover on that door, and they'll all look at the door and kind of be, whatever. But yeah, I'm not sure if you can see it right here. Close both doors. If you just look just right at that edge right there, but he still kind of moved over. I'm not sure if he maybe tried to press it, and then it just it happens. That happens to me too. But like the door location will determine and close both doors. Um, this is a tricky area. This can be kind of tricky and annoying. They just run out sometimes, depending on how quiet you've been. That was a little risky. There is a cool trick you can do with a mirror gun where, and I'm going to be talking about this in a video soon. Maybe doing a tips and trick video. If you look at the door with your mirror gun and you're looking through the mirror gun and you're looking at like where the button would be to activate to close the door, you look at it with your mirror gun and aim at that location and then let go of your mirror gun, and then you can press the interact button and it'll close or interact with that object, essentially. So you can close the door without exposing yourself to this room, essentially, right? Honestly, you could have just pied this off. You don't necessarily close this door unless you're not going to work on it. And once again, if you are on a mirror gun on the hinge side, it's super important. Just like as that early example, we don't want them to like kick open the door. You be standing right there with your pants down. You know, your AI can help, but... Okay, so he is throwing... Oh, it looks like I saw somebody around that lip there. Okay, so it was contact and pain yell. I'm not sure if the contact was the same person or a different person, so I would just be careful. Just take your time with the shot. You have a lot of time when they're stunned. You don't need to be super quick or anything. Just take your time. You don't need to waste that much ammo. Like just one shot with the legs or the noggin there. I think it'll be more than fine. Now there is he has a mirror gun, but there is a thing here you can pull to look through the window to see through here. That was kind of fine. I would kind of recommend, oh, I do like that. He closed the door. So that was good. That's really good. I don't recommend strafing out like that. That's kind of scary. I would never ever do this. I don't think I'd ever do this unless I had like a shield or something. You're not going to be strafing out like this. This is a really big mistake because you don't want someone to come around the corner from the stairs or something. You really want to avoid just sprinting out, going around a corner like this. This is very risky. Also, this sounds a little silly, but check those corners. They love to hide in those corners in that room. It is wild. It's kind of nutty. They can hide really tight around corners sometimes. There are a lot of factors to, you know, these locations. They can vary depending on what type of player you are. If you're like a quiet player, you're more loud. If you're more aggressive, you shoot more. They're going to be more on edge. I'm not sure what the... Yeah, so I'm not sure if... I assume maybe that's just a mistake or something, but whenever you look at through your mirror gun... Where am I at? Hold on. Whenever you look through your mirror gun, it's always... I think it's like, you know, it's a good amount of degrees or whatever. Maybe like almost 180 degrees of like looking back and forth. Or like a 90-degree kind of field of view-ish on, you know, each side from... You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, my point is that if wherever you look, so if you look over here to the right more, you'll be able to see more around this door. So it's kind of wherever you are, because it's kind of like it's like if you imagine like this is the angle at which you can kind of see, like the mouse I'm drawing, you can kind of only see in this angle. So if you move it over here, you can actually see around the corner more because you have more of that accessible angle. So if you look this way, you're only going to be able to see it to like this corner here. You know what I mean? So really gotta like that was the max you could do, so make sure you're going like that. That's better. Tilting it up kind of helps a little bit too, because you can kind of see above stuff and have better sight lines most of the time depending on certain areas. So I know this map. I've never seen anybody in here ever in this little cubby hole. Doesn't mean they're campy, but I always watch the right first. If you were to clear this CQB, you'd be like, okay, I'm going to check the right, then I'm going to check the left. I'm going to use this to obscure the door. So when you're approaching that door, you're going to try to use this to obscure the door so that you can't see you. You're going to check right, you're going to check left, and then we'll kind of go from there. You don't want to step out past this line, because if this door opens, you're kind of going to be screwed. And you can go like through here in the back area or just around here to check the back spot here behind the bookcase, because there can be an enemy hiding there on occasion, depending on all that stuff. If you want to disarm this, it's a little bit tricky sometimes. If you open the door, it makes it a lot easier sometimes. I don't know. Sometimes it's just so weird and wonky. It's hard to get it. I'm not sure if it's been fixed at all, but good. This is good. Yeah, he's checking more of the room this time. His mirror gun.
Open, clear with flashbangs.
I'd like to know his reasoning behind clearing with a flashbang. I'm not sure if that far door was open, but man, I love AI let me cover with a shield from behind. When the door opens, it's gonna, my back is gonna be completely to the door. It's so wild to me. So wild.
Provide support. Behind you.
Yeah, I mean, technically speaking, you had your team kind of clear the area. They should be able to like go into the nooks and crannies and stuff, but yeah, this is fine so far. Once again, as I said, just like be on hinge side and all that. Pick lock on the door. Change it up a little bit. Yeah, I would you can kind of like work the door here if you want. You guess you don't necessarily need to use a mirror gun. Using a mirror gun can be a little bit risky sometimes because if they do push you for some reason, then you're going to be kind of defenseless. He does have an AIT calling him, but still good to, you know, be ready more times than not. So obviously, if you guys haven't played this map, you have to pull that lever to kind of allow access through certain doors on the next floor and on the floor above that. Does look like he's getting his wedges back. This is kind of good. Don't have a lot of wedges. Picking them up the next floor can be really helpful. Minimize stuff. Now, whenever I get to this spot, doing this specific route that I usually do, I've actually changed my route as of recent, even from my guide as well. I've been kind of trying out different routes and kind of getting good success with them. As long as you're doing the route safely, it's fine. Anyway, if you are going through here, there can be sometimes a straggler from some location likely to be here if you haven't wedged this door or whatever. So make sure you kind of are clearing this door. Make sure you're closing doors behind you. This is kind of what I'm going to say every single video I ever watch ever. Always just be closing the doors. It just helps. Make sure you know where things have been. Enemies, you know, the direction of the door will determine from which side of the door was open. So you can kind of get a gist of like where someone has been. If it's an AI, you know, running around everywhere. He does see this. I'm not sure if this is worth cutting or not, but you know, cutting it can be good. Most of the time, a lot of people will use that tripwire to their advantage by dragging them, you know, to them. Okay, so we're getting to the second floor. We're doing pretty well. It wasn't too bad of a thing. I don't he didn't get shot. Taking that shot, you only really need one shot for him. I don't think he has armor. Does like to shoot those flurry of rounds. Don't blame him. All right, so I love this. This is so good. Knowing that this is a very big threat, because there's a lot of areas where they can come from. This is super nice. I like this. Seeing the doors, seeing what's open and closed. Closing both doors, I would wedge it. Is he wedging it?
Jam the door.
Wedging it, I would mirror under the door. Just to kind of see. And I would also have people stacking on the doors to cover it, or like, you know, at least covering it.
On my 6.
Was he wedging this door? Oh, I would at least check to see if that right door back here was open around this one, just to see what was been going on, see if there's been any doors open or activity. Oh, looks like he wait, what was that?
On my 6. On you.
Fast. Okay. Oh, use the mirror gun here. Okay. Yeah, you can also stand on your tippy toes and use your mirror gun for a little bit more effectiveness most of the time. I like going around here without a mirror gun. Usually you can go around here with a mirror gun. It's not really an issue. Depending on like your experience, it can be more or less effective when doing certain stuff up to here. You can do a lot of these commands from a distance, which I'd probably recommend doing just to minimize your safety, or like, you know, minimize, you know, your risk. I mean, and danger. You want to check that left side.
On me. Move.
Yeah, you're lucky that there's no one around that corner to the left side. Make sure you just check the room. Just check the room. That's all you really have to do. That's gonna save you so many headaches in the future. Just make sure you're checking all the rooms, like you're checking every location and corner before you kind of like push up to the next kind of threshold. Very important to do this stuff. Mirror gun again, making sure, double checking. I will do this. You know, maybe if I see like, oh, there's maybe some movement I think I missed. It's always good to double check if you feel uncertain. Wedging on the left side door is a little better. Even if you do have to like cross past it, because it's ultimately you're still going to be mirroring the door. So it's always important to just do it from safety. like he's wedging this one. Good stuff. I'm gonna speed up a little bit. Closing doors behind you is always nice. It's a little bit more annoying with AI though. And he decides to go through this door. Okay, is he going through here? Or is he just checking? Ooh, there's a baddie. What's he gonna do with this? This is a tricky angle. I don't know what I would do. It probably. If you're good at throwing grenades, you could like, you know, open the door, like peek it or whatever, push it open, probably bounce it around that, like off that door. Or just throw. I always forget there's a top there. Just throw it through the top. I think that's what they're kind of doing. Is that C2 and then, yeah, charge. He's gonna. I would just throw it right away. I just throw it immediately.
I'll do it.
Once that charge goes off. Yeah, because like you got to time it right so they're not getting shot when the door opens. Especially if it's from a distance, it's gonna be more annoying. But yeah, good stuff. That was good. I just there's two in here. Just tighten up the time that you were, you know, throwing that sort of a little sooner. Securing this while you guys are securing the room is generally fine. Make sure this room's secure is important. Closing the door, wedging the door. That's good. That's good.
Laptop and a frequency emitter.
The intel says this might be the device we're looking for. Upload the receiver logs and we'll be able to prevent detonation with a
Turn on the TV. Important. That's an extremely important tactical decision right there. Make sure you turn on that TV. Very important. I'm not sure if he got that side door. He just kind of ignored it. I would have just make sure it was checked or locked or wedge it or something. Or at least stack my guys on it, or like, you know, have them covered, not stacking, because they kind of suck when they stack. Honestly, they'll die so frequently. Just like have them cover it from a distance. A lot of the time, whenever you stack them up on a door, they can kind of be, they're just so in awful positions, honestly. They sometimes stack too closely to the door where they're just at risk. Checking out here is good. We finally see that door because it was open on the right. It was not closed. Most of the time, those double doors from a level perspective, they're usually not too active. I've never really had an issue with it being an enemy walking through there. So also, I do think it's faster if you unlock, technically speaking. So in the future, just lock it yourself. Unlock it yourself, I mean. Be a little bit faster. Checking here. Okay, closing the doors. Yelling at the door, telling it to get down before closing it. Oh, check behind you. What is going on? Check behind you. To the left, left, the left, the left. So if you don't know, whenever you hear a door kick open like that, whenever you hear this sound, whenever you hear that sound and your guys are just chilling there, that means the door is kicked open, and that means they will be throwing a flash grenade. When you hear that door kick open, your AI teammates will not do that. They won't do that unless you tell them to, but you basically don't. As soon as I hear that's like, okay, what's going on here? Yeah, so this, if you close doors behind you, I know the AI are kind of annoying, they're slow. Close doors behind you, this will minimize the idea, and you're like, oh, this door's open, you know, as it just opened, you can kind of, if you turn around and you see this one closed and that one open, then you can kind of, you know, pass some elimination. But just being more aware of that is important, imperative to doing this level. He's gotten lucky on certain areas where he didn't check corners, but other than that, like, he's like, you know, flowing through here decently well. Kind of looks like he has a general game plan, using mirror gun to check around corners. I would be checking around the area where there is a hostile, because if you've already mirror gun this, you don't need to like be looking around in this location. If you're looking around into the unknown that you have not explored or seen. So if there is an enemy there, you're kind of like pointing at him already and ready. So
Hurry! Get me the hell out of here!
Civilian is good to go.
I'm a reporter.
Yep. Do it on the other side. You can do it on like the handle side. I bet the door's just closed today. Wow.
I'm assuming you know who these guys are.
Because it's just like consistency. As long as you do all these things kind of consistently and just by habit, they'll save you one of these days. You know what I mean? So it's important to like just remain consistent, minimize those issues. So you guys see you guys running around. He's opening doors, practicing his tactical training. You're gonna stack up and clear. Ram. Okay, I probably would have C2'd it. Oh boy, that is so lame. I hate AI. It's so annoying. I just, this is awful.
Swap with me.
I wonder if they heard him prepping to the door and that's what made him go to that door. That's probably what happened. The movement and everything. That's a shame.
Entry team to talk. Officer down, requesting immediate
King
attendance.
was taken down.
Around and stay still.
What? Focus on that door. Yeah, close that door super quickly. Wedge that thing. I guess mirroring it's kind of okay, but yeah, just wedge it. Get that guy behind you. Make sure he doesn't, you know, spring into action. A lot of time with AI, you can kind of just think that you're playing solo, because a lot of the time that's how they behave. I would clear around that corner there to the left, like around to that little cubby hole. Oh, he was gonna do it. He was gonna do it. I saw that. The way Prescott said breaching, guys. I'm breaching. Sound like it's really funny. Looks like something going on here. Kind of speed past this. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, try not to go where your teammate are going as a general rule. You don't need to have like a big stack of guys just doing the same thing. I would definitely be on the left side as much as I could. So if door does get kicked, as I said. I think that left door is open. He's being more patient. Yeah, I mean, make sure you're just checking both corners. You could be like using your free lean or whatever a bit better. Generally speaking, the core idea is like, you know, minimizing exposure best you can. Once again, stay on those hinge sides. And make sure just being a little bit thorough with like your mirror gun, I would say. Oh, trigger. He triggered it. Checking the right side. That's good. That is good. I'm not sure if he's gonna, I mean, it's okay to come down here as well, just to check if there's any like stragglers that came down here. That's totally acceptable in my opinion. Sometimes they'll just, you know, wander around, wander about. That's so bright. Checking for more tripwires, even though I already set one off, I think. And this room. Once again, just check the corners, I would say, as I said. Just make sure you're really thorough with that mirror gun. If you are going to use it, make sure you're actually like getting the full room, like corners and everything. He knows that little, he knows that there's one in the cubby hole sometimes. Nice, nice, nice. Good stuff, good stuff. When you're on the other side though, looks like it's generally clear. As I said, just make sure you're like, go to both corners of the door whenever you're looking with the mirror gun, just to like make sure you're being thorough. Because as I said, I have mirrored a door, not seen anyone in like a super tight cubby hole, and I've died on this map. It's been super, it's pretty awful. It's pretty wild. Okay, so the left door, I would wedge that immediately. Double doors, that's where it's a little bit more hot. This room is enclosed into its own space, so it's only going to be, you know, limited with its number of enemies. Yeah, just make sure they're stacking on that door. This is probably going to be like an issue, right? Like this door. And then, yeah, I wouldn't just walk in here with a mirror gun. I still would be taking my weapon out when I'm in here. Does look like he's going for the secret passage. This could be okay. I've actually kind of opened up more to this idea. As long as you're doing it correctly and safely, you can't mirror that. As long as you can do this space a little bit safely and carefully and you know what you're doing, this can be totally an acceptable area. I would say for the majority of people who are like newer or just like average players, I would kind of avoid this. If you haven't cleared the other side, then it's kind of acceptable to go through here just to clear the back area. Right now, this is a little bit too much. I think it's a little bit too prematurely because you haven't cleared like the other center rooms before clearing this area. I like to clear the outside, then the center rooms, and then come out here. This is just so scary right now. This is usually where people will die, around these kind of areas.
Provide support on me.
frequency of dying, you know, in this area or the other side, pretty high frequency. Make sure you're, you know, oh, he's going for a flash. I'm not sure what prompted that. I'd be curious. Like he triggered a motion tripwire. I would definitely back up now. I don't know what to expect here. Okay. I don't think he's cleared the one room, so he definitely didn't clear all the downstairs. I don't think there was a room he missed. It looks like he's about to die here though. It's because there's only a minute left. Oh yeah, I would say just take your time. Like, I know this mission's like this mission's a really thing that just tests your patience. If you don't have patience in this, that's happened to me too. If you don't have patience, you're not doing this level a lot of the time. You're not going to be able to rush through this in less than 20 minutes. Like he was doing fine so far. Like it was like doing pretty well. Seemed to be good. I guess this is like a blooper. I did not skip back or anything. There's a guy right there. I didn't even see him for a second. Holy. Okay. That's civilian. They have no survival skills, I swear. Wow. That's wild. I hate this. I hate this so much. I hate this stupid little model. It has a fucking invisible freaking, like, I just hate this thing. Can you fix this? Can you just like remove the, just fix the damn hip? Like, what is going on here? Please fix this. Oh, it's gonna be like 5 kicks or something. 2. I've had like 7 kicks before. 3, 4, oh no, 5. There we go. Good stuff. Oh man, I've had some crazy number. I think it's like 6 or 7 kicks or something wild or something. It was something crazy. That's civilians just have no. They have no self-preservation. Did he move to exit it? Did he go move to exit on that?
Move the exit.
Oh, he did. That's why he ran out. Yeah, just don't touch them. Don't. People like to use move to exit. Don't use move to exit on this one. This is an awful one to do it on. So funny though. That's actually hilarious. Okay, so let's kind of like look at like the biggest takeaway here. I would say just make sure you're just being more thorough with your like clearing of rooms. I think that's really just the biggest thing is just like making sure that whenever you're going through a room, make sure you're just checking those corners a bit better. Even clearing, it sounds silly, but like even clearing these rooms, going through it, you know, go, like open this door, run through, tediously run through, open the door, run through over here, open the door, then you could then go in. Because there's times where they're kind of hidden, not, you know, visible perfectly, or they're just completely hidden. And they've come to bite me in the ass before because I didn't notice them. So make sure you keep that in mind. This amount of clearing, I'm just like, is perfectly fine. For this room, totally fine. You know, just be up a little bit, make sure you see a decent amount of the room. That's more than fine enough. But most of the time for other rooms, like where it's more important or imperative, like when he was coming around the offices area, see if I can find it here again. Where is it? What am I looking for again? Offices with. I don't remember what I was thinking. Let's see here. I don't remember what I was thinking. But yeah, so like just make sure whenever you're clearing spaces to like check corners, because I think there was like a few times where the biggest thing is just like minimizing exposure. So minimizing exposure into rooms, so checking spaces before you enter them, minimizing spaces whenever you're like strafing out into like a hallway, avoid that. You know, like just try to really minimize. Like think about like where you are, think about where they are, and if they can see you, right? Because they can really bite you in the ass if you're like kind of ignoring that. I forget the example of when they, and like, so for example, like exposure here, you're exposing yourself to the door. If that door swings open, you're going to be so screwed. So just make sure you're like very aware of where threats are going to come from, and just kind of avoid them unless you're like looking at them. I would say is like kind of like the biggest takeaway here. Just make sure you're absolutely like being diligent when you see these things. I don't remember where that other spot was where it was like a really scary thing where you could have died. Oh, it was in the, oh, yeah, it was up in the second floor. It was in the courtroom. Where did I skip it over it? That space on the other side. What is going on here? Yeah, in this room. It was in this room. When you come into here, there can be an enemy here. I know because it's super frequent. Make sure you're checking your corners because this could have you coming out here. You would have just got shot and died. Make sure you're just checking your corners. If you don't know the map, you should be checking your corners a lot. If you know the map, you can kind of get with it if you know what you're doing, or you know you're confident about how you know the spawns and interactions and all that. But yeah, just like minimizing your exposure to like those kind of threats, because you just seem to be walking into dangerous locations and sightlines without really much care or whatever. So I do like your use of the mirror gun. It's super awesome. And make sure just whenever you are using the mirror gun, make sure you're like, you know, swiping the whole room, because I have missed things when I just kind of like look for a second or two. So I'd say those are really the big takeaways. Obviously like the timing on this was off. Throw this a little bit earlier. I would have thrown it probably too soon, honestly, but throwing it sooner rather than later would probably be a bit better. Because that once that C4 goes off or C2 goes off and their flashbang goes off, I think you said breaching flash or whatever. So you should have been, generally speaking, fine. And near that end, yeah, you did make sure you're clearing. Kind of look at your tablet, kind of think about where you've been. You didn't clear the side room to the right behind you, and I believe you cleared the courtroom. I don't remember if you missed anything else, but yeah, just make sure you've cleared everything. If you feel like you're low on resources, then you can kind of come here, which is reasonable. Like me going up here to get resources to come back down is fine. When you're clearing this is kind of a tricky thing. I would go up to like here where you kind of are right now. Just sit here, don't need to push, just free lane. Pushing up aggressively like this is always gonna, like, you're always just gonna die here, especially if there's one close there. If you miss a flash, just flash again. Nothing wrong with that, you know. Like if you miss a flash, take cover, throw another flash, totally fine. Yeah, you can like peek up here, go to the staircase, you know, check what's going on, throw a flash, nothing. Go to the other side, check that angle, you know, go back and forth. It's okay to like take some time on these things. This is one of those missions where you just got to take a lot of time, quite frankly. It was unfortunate that you missed that like first shot on that thing, because you're pretty close to the leg right there on the first shot, and then after that you kind of just too much recoil. Like, oh, bang. It was like relatively like close, and then it's that trailing. Yeah, yep. Always be looking where they're going to be and all that stuff. So yeah, so that's said, this is the biggest takeaway. Just make sure whenever you're entering a new space, or before you're checking a space to go into a new space, or when you're moving through a space, make sure you are just doing it more carefully, I would say. Checking here a bit more, like you see the sky, right? But you didn't necessarily look into the left of the room. There could have been somebody over here, but you didn't check. Just be super thorough with that. And this is still funny though. This civilian. They have no survival skills, man. Yeah, like mirror gun, more wide. You like think of it just like I gotta touch each corner of each door, and just kind of be looking for feet or whatever. You know, if you see somebody through a spot here where you can't see underneath. But yeah, just minimize your exposure, and I think you'll definitely do much better. Like you got pretty far. Like you honestly got really far. If you just tighten up like a lot of that stuff, it would have been much cleaner. Making sure you're minimizing. I love how he just added bloopers at the end. I love he just added bloopers. I just love that. It's so funny. I swear I've had like 5 or 6 kicks or 7 kicks or something. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if I even remember correctly, but I swear it was like something like 6 or 7 kicks. Relax, guys. Okay, don't be fucking spamming 6, 7. Okay, relax. All right, that is going to be it for the video. Thank you for watching. Also, I always forget to say at the end of these videos, thank you for submitting these reviews. I really enjoy watching them. They're fun. And we all get times to learn and share and see how other people play and learn new things. Like, it's always a fun time. I enjoy doing them. They're super fun. I know only a few people watch them out of my my player, like my subscriber base or whatever, but I enjoy still doing them. It's fun, even if it's not getting, you know, tons of views or anything. I enjoy these. But yeah, so that's going to be it for the video. Thank you for watching and have a good day. I gotta watch this again. All right, guys. GG's.